Over on Apple TV Plus, next up, we have a new drama series arriving also on Friday, the 25th of October. It's called Before, and here's a clip.
I have a game for you. Put your block right in the middle. Now you say something that makes you mad.
People who do bad things.
What kind of bad things?
You know what you did. That's me. That's you.
Yep, so like with everything with Apple, there are 10 episodes. This is obviously season 1. The first 2 episodes drop and then it's weekly after that. So it kind of leaves you hanging a little bit. As you say, this is a thriller. This will have you on the edge of your seats. And it's that season, isn't it? It is that season for all things thrilling. And this stars Billy Crystal, who's really become incredibly popular. But this is a really different role for him because we've seen him in quite light-hearted roles in, from When Harry Met Sally and City Slickers, and this is really quite a different part. And you're talking about ages. I mean, he's 76 years old. I mean, this is a big deal. And he plays this part of a very highly regarded child psychiatrist, a therapist called Eli Adler. But he's got his own issues, and I actually wonder. I'm going down another road now, but I also wonder how many times you get into these jobs because you've got your own kind of things going on and you want to help other people. And actually, he's plagued with insomnia, and he has these terrible, violent nightmares. Because his wife, who was an illustrator, she took her own life 6 months earlier. So you can understand why he's got these terrible nightmares and this insomnia. But of course, that's not kind of conducive always, is it, to then working the next day and working with people. But he's kind of on the verge of retirement. He's looking to kind of to finish and take a back seat and sort of make life easier. But all his plans are put on hold because there's this kind of really creepy encounter with this 8-year-old boy called Noah Sawyer. And this child appears on his doorstep and he scratches these symbols on the front door until his fingers bleed and then he runs off. Now, that in itself, symbols being scratched on doors, already, the back of the neck, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. And in a twist of fate, slightly cheesily, he is assigned to this case, and he learns that this child was abandoned as a baby, and lots of foster families. There's some real sadness to this story, and he's in danger of being sent to this hospital to be looked after, the state-run hospital to be looked after, and. The journey between these two is really lovely, and every kind of time you see something, there's another piece of the puzzle that's kind of fixes together as you go through, and you don't want to give too much away with this, but it's a really nice relationship between an older man and a young boy, and kind of how they can help each other, because Eli's also a lost soul. So it's really quite deep. It is a thriller. It is exciting, but I don't think it's a little. I think in places, from what I've seen so far, there are some sort of bits which are, say the word cheesy, kind of a bit obvious, I suppose, and a bit too coincidental. But like everything with Apple TV, it's a great show. It's a proper production, and I think those bits you can overlook because of that. What did you think, Ian?
I liked episode 1. Of course, it's going to remind people of The Sixth Sense, which was the M. Night Shyamalan film about a therapist and a child who was seeing disturbing things. And in that, Bruce Willis was sort of cast against type, wasn't he? And that delivered a huge twist, an incredible twist at the end. It remains to be seen how this series will resolve. So it throws a lot of horror tropes into the mix. So yes, he's having nightmares, horrible nightmares. They're quite well done in this sort of empty swimming pool. He's wandering around. He's seeing his dead wife. Spooky kid. The kid is kind of seeing things and speaking in strange voice and doing these creepy drawings. And there's some weird connection between the two. And yeah, Crystal, I think he's good. I think he's well cast in this because he does come across as very sympathetic and understanding. There's one or two, as you say, there's one or two slightly unconvincing bits of dialogue when he's talking to either his therapist or his sort of old mate or his colleagues. But I hope they manage to resolve it in a way that is satisfying, because there is a supernatural element, and you want to find out, what is affecting this young lad, what's behind it all, and what's the connection between them. So a promising start. Looking forward to seeing the rest.